Hi friends, Blair here with Respectfully Childfree. Do you remember a time when left-handedness was illegal? I don't, but it was. Times have changed, and I, for one, am thankful for that. Left-handers were unfairly stigmatized for centuries. They were assumed to have a physical malfunction, to be clumsy, unlucky, and even sinister. Lefties were wrong and were forced by abuse and shame into right-handedness by their parents and teachers. Fun fact, sinister is the Latin word for left-handed. But does it really matter if you write with your left or right hand as long as you can write? The end result is the same. I'm pointing out this historical bias as an analogy. The stigma against left-handedness seems ridiculous today, and my hope is that soon we'll look back on the stigma against the child-free in the same way. Do you remember a time when birth control was illegal? I don't, but it was. Times have changed in this regard, and I, for one, am thankful for that. Being a non-parent makes you different than the societal norm, but does it make you wrong? Does opting out of parenthood make you sinister? There is undoubtedly a bias against those who choose not to raise children. The child-free by choice are often unfairly thought of as selfish, shallow, and self-absorbed. In her book, Complete Without Kids, Ellen Walker writes, "I recognize that child-free adults face a unique set of problems simply due to living in a family-focused society, somewhat like being left-handed in a right-handed world. Being left-handed isn't wrong, but we live in a right-handed world. Being a non-parent isn't wrong, but we live in a world of parents." Because child-free is thought of as wrong in our culture, some people who have felt inclined to childlessness have felt obligated to do the right thing and procreate. Many others are still working to resist active pronatalist pressure from family, friends, and society at large. But does it really matter if you have kids or not? What is the end goal we're hoping for? Cultural influence wants us to believe that parenting is the right thing to do, the key to happiness and fulfillment, and that simply isn't true. Robin Simon, a professor at Florida State University, has done research on parenting and happiness and says that parents experience lower levels of emotional well-being, less frequent positive emotions, and more frequent negative emotions than their childless peers. In fact, no group of parents, married, single, step, or even empty nest, reported significantly greater emotional well-being than people who had never had children. It's such a counterintuitive finding because we have these cultural beliefs that children are the key to happiness and a healthy life, and they're not. Forcing a left-hand dominant person to go against their natural inclination is harmful. Studies show that handedness conversion can stunt a person's true potential. Adapting can be difficult and result in myriad negative side effects, including stuttering, poor concentration, and reading difficulties. Fun fact, King George VI, as seen in The King's Speech, was forced to convert to right-handedness in childhood. It is said that this likely contributed to his infamous speech impediment. Similarly, forcing a non-parent who would prefer not to raise a child to go against their natural inclination is harmful. Having a child when desiring to be child-free can stunt a person's and the child's true potential. Adapting can be difficult and lead to myriad negative side effects, including depression, resentment, and abuse. With research and education about handedness, lefties have been redeemed, even said to be creative geniuses. People fear what they don't understand, and they judge what they fear. Left-handedness in the past is much like child-free by choice in the present, not widely understood, therefore feared, and therefore misjudged. Huge strides have already been made in bringing about the understanding that those choosing to be child-free are not wrong, not bad, and pioneers of the child-free movement are to thank for that. Ladies like Ellen Peck, founder of the National Organization of Non-Parents and author of The Baby Trap, and Marcia Drew Davis, author of Confessions of a Child-Free Woman, who bravely announced her decision to be child-free on an episode of 60 Minutes in the 70s. They have helped us get to where we are today. One day, being child-free will be widely accepted as normal. It will be more common to be a parent, but non-parents will not be looked down on, not be thought of as less than. We have a ways to go, but we're well on our way to that one day. In her book, The Baby Matrix, Laura Carroll says of parenthood and non-parenthood, either choice is equally legitimate and is equally acceptable and respectable. Support and resources for the child-free, like Laura Carroll's book, and even my blog, Respectfully Child-Free, are becoming more and more prevalent. Understanding what it means to be child-free by choice has been increasing for decades and shows no signs of slowing down. Therefore, we can confidently look forward to a day free of fear and judgment around the child-free life. The day when parenthood and non-parenthood are both thought of as legitimate, acceptable, respectable, right choices.